The 10 years behind bars for having consensual sex as a teen could walk out of prison a free man at any moment, and we are monitoring that shot for you so that hopefully we can bring it to you live. This morning, Georgia's Supreme Court ordered Genarlow Wilson's release. He is now 21. He spent the last 2 years in prison after being convicted of aggravated child molestation for having consensual oral sex with a 15-year-old girl. He was 17 at the time. Well, the court ruled his 10-year sentence was cruel and unusual punishment. CNN's Rusty Dornan joining us live now from the prison that Wilson will be walking free from any minute. Rusty, do you know what Genarlow Wilson said when he got the news this morning?
I have no idea. His attorney, I know, was surprised because I just talked to B.J. Bernstein the other night asking her, what's going to happen with Genarlow Wilson. She said, I just don't know. It might not even be December before they make a decision. So I know that she was surprised by the Supreme Court coming out with that today. We just heard from the prison officials here that they have turned in his attorney, B.J. Bernstein, his mother, Juanessa Bennett, and his little sister have turned onto the prison grounds. They're arriving here. This has to happen before he can be released. We understand that he has been processed over the last few hours to try to cut down on the amount of time, of course, that when they get here, they're not sitting around and waiting, presumably. So when he does come out of prison, he's going to have, this is the crew that's awaiting him. You've got a lot of reporters here. This all happened so fast, Erica, that you really didn't have a chance for what supporters he had, or even people that perhaps were opposing his release to get here to the prison grounds. This is in Forsyth, Georgia, just about an hour and a half south of Atlanta. Now, what will happen is the car is going to be coming down this street, parking right over here, and then he will be walking out a gate that you can't see from here, and he will be walking outside of the barbed wire. We can show you that. We'll have Stuart Clark, our photographer, show you that, just that area where you see the do not enter sign. He's actually going to be coming from that direction, be escorted by the guards on foot, and he's going to be walking down this side road, and there he will be greeted by his attorney, by his mother, by his little sister. Presumably it's going to be a rather emotional reunion after all of the ups and downs that have occurred during this case. So we're all at this point, as I said, Erica, watching and waiting. The car should be coming down the driveway at any time. At that point, though, we are only going to be seeing his attorney, his mother, and his little sister. At some point after that, we're going to be seeing him released.
Once they bring him out. Now let's back up for just a second, because the reason that this was actually overturned, it was 4-3, but the majority found that it was cruel and unusual punishment, this sentence that he was handed down. So they're not overturning the conviction here.
Right. I mean, exactly. And what happened was, you have to remember, a year after he was convicted of this crime, the Georgia Supreme Court the Georgia legislature changed the law and realized this was very harsh punishment to have a mandated sentence of 10 years for 2 teenagers having consensual sex. But what happened was, when they appealed that to the Supreme Court for Genarlow's case, they ruled it wasn't retroactive for him. It wouldn't apply. So his attorney takes it back to another court, and it was a Superior Court judge who said this is much too harsh of a punishment. You can't possibly do this, and ordered his release. Well, at that point, the Georgia Attorney General and the prosecutor said, wait, you can't do that. That judge has no right. He has no standing, no authority to do that. And that's when they kicked it up to the Georgia Supreme Court, who did rule it was cruel and unusual punishment, but as you pointed out, by a very slim 1-vote margin.
Real quickly, Rusty, do we know if he's still going to have to register as a sex offender?
No, he will not have to register as a sex offender.
All right, we know
you will not.
We know you're on top of it.
Are we seeing? Here we go. Here we go. Well, hang on here, Erica, if you would. We are seeing B.J. Bernstein is just pulling up right now with the mother. She's being told where to go by the guard. We see the car pulling in right now.
You can see the smile on her face there, Rusty. I know you've been talking to B.J. a lot.
And the waves.
We talked to B.J. a lot about this. She's been telling us, I'm sure she told you, she's been driving around, I think, with a suit in her car for him since June, right?
That's exactly what she's been doing. So obviously they're going to be going inside. They'll have to do some paperwork, and then she'll, of course, be giving him the clothes that she's had in the trunk of her car for the past few weeks or 6 months or whatever it is, and he'll be changing his clothes, and that's when he'll be walking out here, and then that's when the reunion will take place.
All right, going to be very busy there in the next few minutes. Rusty, thanks. We'll be checking in with you again. All right, and again, we'll continue.